Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. We've got a rather interesting game for you today on Two Brothers. No, don't worry, nobody's going to try and charge down the middle of the map right at the start of the game and get themselves pointlessly slaughtered for absolutely no reason whatsoever. This is actually a well-played game on Two Brothers, just for a change. This is Subman in the Japanese Tier 8 destroyer, the Fubuki. Don't have the Fubuki unlocked myself. I'm still at Tier 7 on the Hatsukari, but the Fubuki does look quite interesting. It has 6 guns in 3 turrets, 2 guns per turret. And, okay, they are Japanese destroyer guns, so the range is bad, the reload is bad, but by Japanese standards, they're not actually terrible. They're certainly better than you've been used to up until this stage. The torpedoes are very good, as you'd expect of a Japanese destroyer. It has 3 launchers with 3 tubes per launcher, so it can fire up to 9 torpedoes over either side of the ship, and it's fast, and more importantly it's very fast going backwards. This has a top speed of 14 knots in reverse, which is phenomenally good, and I suspect that Subman has added the engine modification, which reduces the time that it takes him to get up to top speed by 20%, and you'll see what I'm talking about later on. For now, however, smoke screens, they're torpedo magnets. You may have seen certain sections of this particular battle in a previous episode of Why You Have to Be Mad. But the game itself was a good one, and, well, I wanted to show it to you. So, obviously, they're contesting Delta over here, and there's equally, obviously, an enemy ship in the cap, because the progress meter has been stalled, and the enemy ship in the cap is equally, obviously, in that smoke screen. So everybody's firing torpedoes into the smoke screen. Gee, I wonder if there's anybody in there. Well, not anymore. There's his first kill. Enemy destroyer knocked out. Now, that friendly Ognavoy over there got a little bit too close in his attempts to flush that guy out of the smoke screen. So he's now become the focus of attention of all of these enemy ships. Now, you notice how the Scharnhorst is sailing behind the island. Now, all of the ships on the enemy team that have sailed around that flank, they're all sailing behind the island to use the island as cover from all of the friendly ships over there. Not this Indianapolis. He's got the bit between his teeth, and he's decided, for some bizarre reason, that he wants to get shot at by everybody. So here he comes. Now, Subman has popped his own smokescreen, but you'll notice he's getting detected. It's because he's going faster than 12.5 knots going backwards in this thing. He's actually topping out at 14 knots reverse speed, and he's had to slow to a stop just to stay within the protection of his smokescreen. So he's not spotted anymore. That's how fast this thing is going in reverse. Remember, the magic number is 12.5 knots. If you're in a destroyer, or any of the cruisers that come with smoke screens, and you're trying to lay a smoke screen, if you're going faster than 12.5 knots, you will pop in and out of the smoke pulses. You'll be going too fast to stay fully covered, and the Fubuki goes too fast to stay fully covered as it's laying a smoke screen when sailing backwards. Yes, really. Anyway, the Indianapolis, unsurprisingly, is toast. Who's he going for now? He's already done, well, 10,000 damage, not a lot. Finished off a destroyer and put some shots into an Indianapolis. But he's gotten the kill out of it, and they've almost capped. Now, clearly he doesn't want to get shot at the moment, at least not until he's finished capturing. There we go, they've capped. So, torpedoes out against the Fuso. Whole bunch of enemy ships over there. Bit of a stalemate over here at the moment, but they do have control of the flag, and it's just the fact that, well, they know that there are enemy destroyers lurking around here, which is stopping those guys from pushing around. Not sure what this Tirpitz thinks he's going to achieve. This is where things all start to go badly wrong. It all starts with this Tirpitz. At the minute, they're 2 kills each and 2 flags each, and the scores are pretty even. And then this Tirpitz decided to just YOLO. Look, there's the rest of the team. Can you not, Mr. Tirpitz, can you not see? Can you not see that you're charging alone into a whole bunch of enemy I don't know, maybe he got bored. That must be it. He got bored and he wanted to play another ship, so he just decided to YOLO suicide charge into a whole bunch of enemies. It's not like he can claim he didn't know they were there either. Anyway, this is where things start going wrong. Now, torpedoes still in the water, still on course for that Fuso. Now, he fired them off at a narrow spread, but the thing is, the narrow spread is only really narrow at your end of the spread. There we go, one hit. At the maximum range of the torpedoes, they've spread apart so much that the distance between each torpedo and the spread can be the entire length of a ship. So at that kind of range, well, you're unlikely to hit in the first place, and if you do hit, you're probably only likely to hit with one, maybe two, unless you've got a bunch of enemy ships all bunched up together. Then you might get lucky. So, 22,000 damage done. Again, absolutely nothing special. He's pumped a bunch of torpedoes off in the direction of that Megami over there, but the Megami was manoeuvring heavily and is pointing the bows of the ship in this direction. So, well, the Megami's more likely to be finished off by gunfire than any of those torpedoes hitting him at this point. But if he does try to thread the needle between those torpedoes, it's going to make him a very, very easy broadside-on gunnery target for all those friendly ships back there. And the team could really use a couple of kills at this point, because they've only managed to sink 2 enemy ships. They are down 5 enemy ships, 3 destroyers, 2 battleships, and, well, the Megami was contesting the point, but he just got spanked by the Scharnhorst, so at least the team still have 2 flags in their possession. For now. But check out this Tirpitz. This guy, look at this. This was kind of disappointing. Nobody has actually spotted Subman. He is, I mean, he's got a massive chunk of ocean-going rock in a direct line between him and anybody who can spot him. But this Tirpitz is now so close, he's actually proximity detected him. Check out the reverse speed of the Fubuki again. Watch this. This is just too stupid for words. The Tirpitz knows he's here. Look at that. And then accelerate, and look at how quickly he starts moving forward again. And just look, I mean, have you ever seen anything as stupid? What did that Tirpitz think he was going to do? Other than die pointlessly, I mean, really. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in World of Warships. That guy was totally, Dad, give me your credit card, I want to play Tier 8. Well, I'm sure Subman isn't going to be complaining, he's now at 76,000 damage. This, however, is where things do start to get a bit interesting. So he's being pursued by the Scharnhorst down at one end. Well, then again, that's not necessarily the case. The Scharnhorst's guns are all pointing the other way, but he did have a spotter aircraft up, and whether he's pursuing Subman or he's just running away from Subman's allies isn't really important. The point is he's heading in this direction, and there's a Gneisenau over in the other direction, and Subman is now capping the enemy's home flag point. So, yeah, the Gneisenau is almost certainly coming back as a reaction to that, because there's nothing else for him to fight all the way over at capture point A. They control it. So, Subman puts 9 torpedoes in the water against the Gneisenau, and he has now been spotted, and the Gneisenau is definitely coming back to sort him out because his guns were primed, loaded, and pointing in this direction. He was going a little bit too fast to stay fully concealed in the smoke, but now he should be good. And there is absolutely no excuse there for the Gneisenau to take 4 torpedoes at that kind of range from a target that he saw and started shooting at, unless he was turning to put torpedoes into the smokescreen. So Subman isn't going to sit still in the smokescreen, in case that's exactly what's happened. The problem here, of course, is that because he's in a smokescreen, I mean, the Gneisenau is right there, he hasn't sunk him. He just can't see him. He also isn't going to be able to see any torpedoes that have been launched into this smokescreen, so he's doing his best not to be where he's expected to be, but that Scharnhorst is getting awfully, awfully close. And oh, yep, there you go. Gneisenau's torpedoes, just as predicted. Now, however, his torpedoes are reloaded. And there's the Scharnhorst's torpedoes. And now he's been spotted. And this is where things start to get very, very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. He's spotted anyway. Absolutely no harm whatsoever in firing his guns. There's the Gneisenau. Torpedoes in the water against the Scharnhorst. Gneisenau's second torpedo spread coming in. Never going to hit. Second spread of torpedoes off against the Gneisenau. He sunk the Scharnhorst. He sunk the Gneisenau. And just when... I mean, he really could have done without the Hatsuharu popping up around about now. And the Hatsuharu has a huge health advantage. And the Hatsuharu's guns aren't that bad for a Japanese destroyer either. And he seems to be reasonably accurate with his shots as well. But he's been hit. His engine is out. This is coming down to a gunfight. But he is getting some assistance from the rest of the team. It's just not particularly accurate assistance. Hatsuharu's engines are still out. He's now burning. He's inside the smoke screen. Unfortunately, Subman is detected, which is not good. He can't see the Hatsuharu. The Hatsuharu can see him. Wait, he can see the Hatsuharu. There's the Hatsuharu's torpedoes. Slow and turn and speed up again and get the guns going. And oh, he's down. But that final shot set the Hatsuharu on fire. He's done 183,000 damage so far, thanks largely to 3 complete idiots in battleships. But you can see that he's still doing burning damage, as the damage counter in the top right of the screen keeps ticking up. And that Hatsuharu has left the concealment provided by his own smokescreen. Obviously those other friendly ships were starting to get a little bit too close. But can he... There it is! 5th kill, Kraken unleashed. 189,000 damage done. Not bad, I'm sure you'll agree. But is this going to be a win? Or are the team going to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory? Well, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory isn't really a fair thing to say. It's still a bloody close game. The enemy team have 2 uncontested capture points. Subman's team only has 1 uncontested capture point and 1 contested capture point, but they do have a 1-ship advantage over the enemy. But that is not much of a lead. The points are very, very even. This could still go either way. And what a pisser that would be for Subman if after a game like this his team managed to lose it for him. Let's see how they do, shall we? No spoilers. Seriously, this one could go either way. Let's just see what happens. Well, we have 1 enemy Fuso being pursued by a Nagato, a Mogami and a Meihan. The Meihan is being spotted by the spotter aircraft launched by that Gneisenau. We've got a Fuso over here, and he's as good as on full health, but he's managed to get himself into a really nasty situation. Smokescreen over there, enemy destroyer. Spotted, enemy Tashkent, and an enemy ARP Haguro. Now he's managed to avoid the torpedoes from the Tashkent. And he's done some serious damage to the Tashkent with his main battery guns. Hasn't been able to sink him, however. So the Tashkent's just fired his torpedoes. Friendly's at the back here. Let's have a look and see what's going on over this side in the chase on the Fuso. Subman has been begging this Meihan to go and cap A. But the Meihan has other ideas. We're going to come back to the Meihan in a moment. Meanwhile, Scharnhorst over here, just sitting dead in the water, trying to hit a destroyer at a range of about 15 kilometers with his main battery guns. There's the other destroyer. So Fuso has all kinds of problems here. He can never really turn to get his guns pointing the direction he wants to. He's constantly having to turn to avoid torpedoes, like the torpedoes here, fired by the ARP Haguro. It's an arpeggio and blue steel ship, by the way, hence the cartoony explosions from the torpedoes. So now he's been forced to turn the bows of the ship towards the Haguro in order to not eat all of his torpedoes. Is he going to take a second torpedo salvo from the Tashkent? The rest of the team have managed to sink the other destroyer, who was in the smokescreen just ahead of him, but what's he doing? If you're turning the ship that way, it's going to make it harder to get his main battery guns pointing at the Tashkent. And he's burning. This guy was on full health 30 seconds ago. That's how quickly you can get into trouble in a battleship in this game. Meihan has just fired torpedoes down the narrow channel there against the Haguro and is shooting at him, but he's sitting stationary in the smokescreen. If that Haguro had spare torpedoes, the Meihan would be dead. He would never see them coming. And look at the... wow. The Fuso's dead. There we go. Tashkent finished him. They still haven't found and killed that Tashkent. These two guys have got to be feeling very, very nervous around about now. Meanwhile, back to the Mayhan. Do you see how the Hagaro sailed across the mouth of the channel? There's only one reason that he would be doing that. That would be to fire his torpedoes. And the Mayhan isn't stupid. He's realised that, and he starts backing off. I have no idea who this Scharnhorst is firing his torpedoes at, however. Really? I mean... You can buy the Scharnhorst, can't you? Yeah, it's a wallet warrior ship. Yeah. Hey, Jingles, how can you tell? Oh, I don't know. Something about the way he's sailing it. Still, he did at least manage to kill the Tashkent. And why would the Tashkent pop out like that? Don't sit around waiting for the captain of the Tashkent to send you a telegram telling you that there are torpedoes on the way. Just as... Well, it could have been worse, I suppose. And it very, very nearly was. He narrowly avoided getting hit by the second one. So... Scharnhorst killed the Tashkent. The Nagato here just fired a salvo at the ARP Hagaro over there, and he sunk in. Which means that there's only one ship left on the enemy team. And it appears to be a battleship. In fact, you can see where he was last spotted up there on the northwestern end of the map. Right there. That's the Fuso, the Tier 6. He was being chased by a Tier 8 cruiser, a Tier 7 destroyer, and a Tier 7 battleship. And he managed to get away. The Nagato here was chasing him. The Mayhan over there was chasing him. They both abandoned the chase, came down here. The Mogami decided, screw that, and let him get away. And there is absolutely no way that Fuso is going to come down here to challenge 4 enemy ships at once. So this is pretty much it. These guys are now going to cap, further consolidate their lead, and they're basically going to win on points. But it could have gone either way. And I'm sure that Subman is very, very grateful for that. Can you imagine if this had been a defeat? And it could have been, very, very easily. As it is, he's won with a Kraken, a high caliber, a Confederate, First Blood. It's just a flesh wound, 2 devastating strikes, 189,000 damage done. In the Tier 8 Japanese destroyer, the Fubuki. Hope you enjoyed today's video, folks, and as always, take care. And I'll catch you next time.